let's jump right into something we all deal with. Today, we're going on an intimate, kind of reflective journey into the invisible forces that completely shape our daily experiences and honestly, our peace of mind. We walk through life carrying so much weight, often without even realizing it's there. But what exactly is making our load feel so heavy? I mean, is it the events themselves happening to us, or is it something else entirely going on beneath the surface? So, have you ever noticed how, basically throughout our entire lives, society constantly repeats the exact same piece of advice about our feelings? I mean, it's everywhere. You hear it in corporate boardrooms, you read it in a million self-help books, and hey, you might even say it to yourself in the mirror after a really tough day. And it's usually some variation of this. Don't let your emotions influence your decisions. Now, on the surface, that sounds like incredibly smart advice. It sounds exactly like what a strong, highly successful, totally unflappable person would do, right? We hold up this ideal of the perfectly rational human being who can just switch off their feelings like a light switch when it's time to get serious. But actually, there is a massive problem with this advice. The truth is, it's physically impossible. You are not a machine. You're a human being. Every single decision you make, every choice, every snap reaction, it all passes through the intricate biological wiring of your emotions. We absolutely love to imagine that we can completely separate the mind from the heart and make these cold, perfect calculations. But separating logic from emotion isn't just difficult. It's literally a myth. Just think about how this actually plays out in real life. Your current emotional state is acting as a powerful filter, and it completely changes how you perceive the exact same problems. Like, when you're deeply rested, a sudden hiccup at work just seems like a fun, manageable puzzle. But when you're completely exhausted, oh man, that exact same situation feels like an enormous, insurmountable mountain. When you're happy, a sudden change in plans looks like a cool possibility. But when you're overwhelmed, you just see obstacles everywhere. Your emotions are quite literally altering your reality in real time. So if we can't turn them off, well, we need to completely change how we view them. Emotions are absolutely not glitches or defects in your system. They are the system. Emotion is a fundamental survival mechanism. They aren't there to sabotage your logic. They're constantly working behind the scenes, trying to send you vital, life-saving signals about your environment and your well-being. Look at what each of these core feelings is actually trying to teach you. Pain, it isn't just suffering. It's a teacher telling you exactly what to avoid so you stay safe. Happiness isn't just this warm, fuzzy feeling. It's a biological marker showing you what to repeat so you can thrive. Fear alerts you to hidden risks. And frustration? Man, frustration is incredibly useful. It's basically your internal fire alarm showing you that whatever approach you're using just isn't working and something needs to change. These feelings are deeply, deeply functional. And that brings us to a really massive realization. The problem is not feeling. Actually experiencing these emotions, whether we're talking about sadness, anger, joy, or anxiety, that is not where we're going wrong. Feeling is just the act of being alive. It's just you receiving data from the world around you. No, the real problem is interpreting that data in the completely wrong proportion. This right here is the real trap of human suffering. We take these completely natural, super helpful signals and we blow them entirely out of proportion. We literally take a tiny whisper from our environment and we translate it into a screaming siren inside our own minds. Let's picture this. Imagine two different people on the exact same day spilling a cup of coffee all over their desk right before a huge meeting. Person A immediately thinks, great, my day is completely ruined. They get incredibly irritated, they lose all their focus, they walk into that meeting totally tense, and they drag that dark cloud around for the next 6 hours. Now, person B spills the exact same coffee and just thinks, well, that was just an accident. They grab some paper towels, clean up the mess, and just move on with their morning, completely unfazed. So, what changed here? It definitely wasn't the event itself. The physics of the spilled coffee were completely identical. The temperature, the timing, the size of the mess, all the exact same. The absolute only variable that changed was the meaning that each person assigned to the event. The story they spun in their own head dictated the entire rest of their day. And this is exactly where we have to fundamentally retrain our minds. We need to learn how to give things the emotional weight they actually deserve. And step one is internalizing this one simple truth. Not everything is a crisis. Not every error is a disaster. Think about it. How often do we create these massive internal hurricanes over a tiny typo in an email or a super minor miscommunication?
These are inconveniences that, let's be totally honest with ourselves here, we won't even remember happened by next Tuesday.
And not every criticism is a mortal attack. Whenever someone gives us feedback, our old survival brain sometimes freaks out and reacts as if we're literally being chased by a predator in the wild. It is utterly, thoroughly exhausting to live your life treating just everyday, ordinary friction as a severe threat to your existence. Ultimately, not every difficulty is the end of the world. Recognizing the crucial difference between a minor pothole and an actual cliff edge is, honestly, it's perhaps the single most important life skill you could ever develop. It is literally the difference between navigating life with grace or feeling like you're just constantly under siege. Which really brings us to a total redefinition of emotional maturity. Emotional maturity doesn't happen when you somehow mysteriously evolve past feeling sadness or anger or fear. That is never going to happen, and honestly, you really shouldn't want it to. True emotional maturity is realizing that an emotion is just a temporary message. That's it. It's not an objective truth. It is not a definitive sentence about reality. There is this incredible psychological journey to true emotional regulation. First, the emotion hits you, right? You feel it. But instead of reacting instantly, you simply observe it. You think, okay, I am feeling angry right now. Then you interpret it accurately, giving it the correct proportion. And finally, from that really grounded place, you actually choose how you want to respond. Because the crucial point is right there, nestled right between that initial feeling and your final response. In that tiny, almost invisible pause between what happens to you and how you react to it, that is where your real power lies. That small space is where you stop being a puppet controlled by external circumstances and you finally become the author of your own life. Because if you look really closely at your life, it probably isn't being ruined by major catastrophic disasters. More likely, your peace and your daily energy are just being drained away by thousands of small, exaggerated reactions. Tiny frustrations that are consuming your energy, small mistakes that are stealing your joy. It's literally death by 1,000 paper cuts. But imagine how drastically your days would change if you just started asking yourself this one simple, incredibly powerful question whenever something goes wrong. Is this really as big as my mind is telling me right now? Just let that sit for a second. When your heart rate suddenly spikes over a delayed flight or a blunt text message, just ask yourself, is it really that big? This single question can save your relationships, it can completely transform your career, and honestly, it can give you your life back. We really have to accept a fundamental truth about reality here. You do not control all events. The chaotic, totally spinning world out there is entirely out of your hands. Traffic is going to happen. People are going to be rude, coffee's going to spill. But you absolutely 100% can control the weight that they carry inside of you. The quality of your life doesn't depend on experiencing zero problems. It depends almost entirely on the meaning you choose to assign to the things that happen. You are the one who decides what gets to be heavy and what you simply brush right off your shoulder. Which leaves us with this final thought. Maybe true emotional intelligence isn't about eliminating our emotions at all. Maybe it's about learning to deeply feel absolutely everything without turning every little thing into a 5-alarm fire drill. Does peace truly emerge when you finally learn that not everything deserves to steal your tranquility? I really think it does. So the next time you feel the weight of the world pressing down on you, just pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, how much of this weight are you actually choosing to carry? Keep that with you this week.